What is up? Trying to stick to the new schedule. It's Tuesday and I'm going to be playing Daytona Champion Circuit Edition on the Sega Saturn on the original hardware, none of that emulation bollocks. So I'm going to start the game up here when it recognises the disc and start this bitch up and play a little bit of this game. I was actually going to play this game, edited and messed about with all of that stuff. I was like, I really ain't going to do that video now, but I've set the sound up. I'm using the Blue Snowball microphone. It's Blue Snowball Ice to be exact. We've got the Saturn connected up to the Elgato, and yeah, we're playing a bit of Daytona. I'm not a fan of the original release of Daytona on the Saturn. I thought it was a horrible mess, just really jerky and really poor draw distance and all of that sort of stuff. So usually what I like to do when I start these games up is actually go into the options and see what's in here. And handling, we can have slow or quick. To be honest, I'm going to leave that normal at the minute. Difficulty easy, so yes, we always like to play these kind of games on video in easy mode, just because it's harder to concentrate and kind of play the game at the same time and talk rubbish basically. So we're going to jump in on arcade mode, and we're going for the 3-7 Speedway, because that's what's that. No, we're not. We're going backwards because 90s backwards kind of menu button standardisation, control standardisation, should I say, before the PlayStation came along and what would you call it? Kind of standardised that stuff, I kind of guess. Gentlemen, start your engines. I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off if I say this game is crap, but I thought the original release, the original, you know, vanilla Daytona USA, I thought that was absolute dog shit on the Saturn. I did used to love the arcade machines, and you know, going on holiday and going to the arcades and seeing the Daytona cabinets, and the, you know, the graphics looked awesome, and you know, it was just a cool arcade racing game. Same with the Sega Rally and sort of, you know, Manx TT, all those sort of Sega arcade cabinets from that era. They were pretty cool in the arcades. And then the first time I played Daytona was probably only about actually 7 years ago on, well, Daytona on the Saturn, should I say. Obviously back in the day I played Daytona in the arcades, and yeah, I'd have sucked at that. It'd been put 50 pence in, last 20 seconds, get out of the cabinet and just be extremely annoyed that the game is just so difficult. But yes, like I say, it was only about 6-7 years ago I played it for the first time on the Saturn, and it's a horrible jerky mess. I mean, this game isn't the smoothest, as you can see right here on the screen, but this is smooth compared to normal Daytona. The handling's also sketchy. Like, I mean, obviously it's arcade handling, which you would expect, but there is some sort of drifting in this game, and I just don't get it, especially when you go on the grass. Your car gets proper sideways, but you can I think, yeah, you can kind of get your car to lose grip on the tarmac as well. But yeah, I've not fully sort of figured out the handling mechanics in this game. I did play this game a little bit the other night, and I was probably drunk while I was doing it, but yeah, it's certainly not as bad as original Daytona. So we're going to forget about the original Daytona for now, and I'm going to concentrate on this one. One thing you can see with this game here is the shadow underneath the car is actually a dithering effect, because there's no transparency effects on the Saturn, or if there are, the Saturn really struggles with them. It takes a lot of its processing power, I guess, to create transparency effects. The PlayStation could do them, you know, all day long. Surely I'm not going to run out of time here. Oh my god. That was on easy mode and I ran out of time. And the game's taking a while to load. What are you doing? It's just a really brutal form of game over. Like basically, if you don't complete the race, you just get kicked out of the game. Like literally back to the system menu. Not that you can really call it a system menu, like it's just the CD player, but yeah, funky 80s glam rock music, destroying your ear holes. Right, let's try that again then. Oh no, actually, what am I doing? What am I doing? I need to go back, don't I? Because we just failed on the easiest difficulty. So so it has it's actually saved my settings there and kicked me out of the game. So that's certainly interesting. Right, so we're gonna go arcade. Should we go for a different track this time? I think we should, to be honest. National Park Speedway. Yep, let's have a bit of that. I want a good... Let's go with this one. It says it's got good grip, so hopefully that translates to actually going round corners and not sliding across the damn grass. Just looking at my capture software, and to be honest, I'm not actually, I'm not 100% sure whether I'm actually live streaming this. I'm certainly not intending to, but if I am live streaming this and you're watching it, then yes, hello, and yes, I am stupid. Oops. I'm burning up the tyres. Funny how we're playing on a 32-bit CD-based console and the digitised voice is so bad, it's so kind of muffled and low bit rate. So I'm certainly fucking trying to do a little bit better in this game. Funny as well how this is kind of a speedway, you know, like a NASCAR based. You know, I mean, it's an arcade game, but it's, you know, it's based on, you know, NASCAR speedway, that kind of thing. And it just might as well not be. Other than the cars that you're actually racing, it doesn't really have too much to do with, you know, NASCAR or speedway in general. It could be anything. It also kind of reminds me of that old school PC game, Screamer, if anybody ever played that. That was kind of a fucking shitty game. Oh, apart from the kind of glam rocky intro music, I'm not too impressed with the soundtrack on this one, to be honest. The music that's on at the minute isn't great. Sounds like a whole lot of treble. Graphics wise, they are, I always say this about Sega games, they are bright and vibrant. They're not actually quite as bright and vibrant as I usually expect from a Sega game, although that could be this kind of low quality TV that I'm fucking Jesus. If you're wondering what happened there, I looked to my left where my PC is. So I'm not actually kind of facing it, and I was like checking something. I was talking about the picture on this TV, and I was actually looking at the game capture footage on the PC to see if the colour was kind of any more vibrant on there. It's a little bit more vibrant, and yeah, that's why I just crashed. And now nobody cares that I just crashed, so let's move on. Draw distance is bad, but it is bearable. It's not quite as bad as Sega Rally, I don't think. So one thing that I don't miss from the 90s is, you know, like time limits in racing games. It used to always really annoy me as well when you had these games that weren't even available in the arcade and yet they had time limits on them. It was just so unnecessary. You're never going to get good at the game if you can't even complete a lap of the, you know, a lap of the race. Ridiculous. Why is it, right, why is it I pick the car with the 5 stars for grip and it has less grip than the car that had 2 stars? How does that make sense? Why am I kind of, every time I go around a corner I'm going sideways? Insane. When I run out of time as well in a racing game, I'm always a big fan of when the game kind of basically cuts off your acceleration and you kind of glide to a slow halt, and then if you're actually near to the checkpoint and you make it through, suddenly the game jumps into life again and you can carry on. I always like that shit. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to happen in this game. This game doesn't even want you to finish a damn race.
You placed 8th.
Great. Now, why couldn't I have finished the game, finished the race, and it let me know that I finished 8th? Why does it have to be so brutal?
Now list your name with the other champion.
Blah blah blah. AAA, who cares? The battery on my Saturn's flat, so it's not going to save shit anyway. I'm actually just looking at my YouTube now to see if I am actually live streaming, so I'm totally not sure. Go arcade again. There's not really too. No, I'm not live streaming. That's all good. That's all good. Dinosaur Canyon. Let's do that. Right, let's try a car that's got 1 for grip, and see if this actually goes around corners, because the one that had 5 stars for grip didn't do shit. Didn't do jack shit. I always remember that being that gentleman start your engine screen being kind of iconic in the arcade. I'm sure it used to say as well, gentlemen start your engines. Oh yes, I remember this from playing the other night now. This car that's got 1 stars for grip, it just literally does a rolling burnout for about 5 seconds every time you come to a halt, which gets kind of old pretty quickly. And we are overtaking some people. I do want to get, as well as obviously the full PAL collection, I do want to get the, what was it called, the Sega Virtua Racing Wheel, whatever it was called, that kind of thing that didn't even have any pedals, and it just looked like a, it almost looks like a sex toy the way it kind of just sits bolt upright. It looks terrible, but I've always kind of still wanted to get one. I assume it's analog, there won't be much point in it being digital, but I'm not sure. With this being a later, you know, I mean, this obviously is the second Daytona game on the Saturn. I'm not sure whether it would be compatible with the 3D controller, you know, the one that came bundled with Knights. So that'd be interesting to find out, because the controls are very twitchy on this game with the D-pad. The controls aren't the best. I'm in 5th place, so yeah, I'm actually doing a bit better with this car, although this car is actually quite slidey as well. Although to be fair, it might be this track owes itself a bit better to me, my style of gameplay. He says, and then immediately slides off the track and bursts into flames nearly. Ah, bloody hell, ripping the bloody headphones off. I always look good. Well, thank you anyway. So I guess that's kind of a way of stopping you from cutting corners, like just making the grass like extremely unfriendly to the tyres of your car. I mean, they are in real life to a certain extent, but certainly fucking your car doesn't act like that as soon as it hits a tiny little bit of grass. Ooh, big drift. Still got to make it round though. I'm in the pack. We're in the pack right here. Final lap. We've made it. 4th place. I mean, is this just one of those games where the only way you're going to make all the checkpoints is if you're in 1st place? Crashes are kind of tedious, the way it throws your damn car up in the air and you just have to sit there and mong out whilst it comes back onto the track, comes back down to earth. Back in 8th place. This game is just wanting me to be in 8th place all of the time. Right, let's try and get around this corner quite smoothly. I mean, what do you have to do in this game to like actually win a race? This is almost as bad as Dirt Rally. Like, if anybody's played that game, it's like super impossible to get 1st place in a race. Single player, I mean, obviously. But yes, this is a pretty damn hard arcade racing game. I don't actually remember the first Daytona game being this difficult. Although, to be honest, it is a lot easier because you're basically playing like a slow motion slideshow when you play that game. Should we have a go on each track? And yeah, that's what we'll do. Have a go on each track and try and have a little bit of a mixture of cars before we line this one up. Oh, and it's a blue gentleman start your engine screen this time. Wow, that's intriguing. Ah, at least the music's a bit more upbeat.
And they're underway.
Is this good? Is this a track from the original game? I remember there being a track with a very long bridge in it. It kind of always looked like kind of the location outside one of the stadiums or something. Look like a little bit like an airport as well though. Bloody, very tight track. I think I would very much rather play Sega Rally on the Saturn than this one, to be honest. Getting sideways is what I'm doing. I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's no simulation bloody tyre damage in this game, so I don't need some guy screaming down my ear about the condition of the bloody tyres constantly. That's a pretty short track, if that's that. No, it's not. Oh shit. Bugger. Oh. Drifting and some big skids. Ooh. I think the key is to just like commit to the drifts, like really just turn in and just hope for the best. I'm doing pretty badly at this game, to be honest.
The white flag is out. This is the final lap.
I'd certainly rather play any of the Ridge Race, well, apart from Ridge Racer Unbounded, I'd rather play any of the Ridge Races in this game, to be honest. It's not a bad little kind of nostalgic trip back to the 90s, but yeah, it's quite the handful in 2018, to be honest. I mean, obviously I'm, you know, sucking at the game, but I imagine, you know, the time attack mode, I would have thought that is basically, you know, just you in the track doing lap after lap after lap, and if that is the case, then that's probably kind of the way to go to get good at the game. Practice the tracks and then come into this arcade mode and, you know, get your first place finishers. I'm doing too badly in 4th place. Ooh, shit! I can't actually. Well, I can't actually see where I'm going. It's all just muddled textures. Everything's grey. Please help me. It's like living in a land of Philip fucking Schofield. I'd rather live in a land of Philip Schofield than Michael Schofield, though. I mean, fuck that guy. I don't even remember what the actual actor's name is, but fuck that guy. Oh, I actually finished a race. Don't you insult me with a game over. Better luck next time or something like that. I actually finished the fucking race. No! Game over. Not even the old game over, yeah. None of that shit. Just game over. Game over, you suck.
Now list your name with the other champion.
Seaside Street Galaxy. No, I don't want to replay. So, we have the final track to play before this video is over. Video's actually coming up to... we're going to be going on for 30 minutes here, like... That's a bit mad. Desert City, or is it Desert City? Ah, who knows. Well, this one's called Balance, and it has no acceleration whatsoever according to the stats. So we're going to go with that one. I'm going to go with that and see how we do. I'm guessing with this car it's all about speed conversation, no, conservation. Similar words. One's possibly can't remember the word. An anagram, that's the one. One is an anagram of the other, possibly. I would have to actually write them both down as words and check that. And I forgot what I was on about. So let's just play this game. Conservation and conversation. Yeah. That's what I was on about. So this car doesn't go very sideways much, apart from when going around right angled corners. This music's a bit terrible, like 50s detective show music. Funny, like, I mean, you may or may not remember, but back in the day you didn't have things like slipstreaming in racing games, and you kind of get into the habit of doing it in modern racing games, and you end up doing it in like Daytona USA, and you're like, why the fuck am I slipstreaming? It makes no difference whatsoever. You know what I mean? I'm like, get out his tail, get that clean air. Do him in the corner. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. They didn't have physics like that in these days. I don't even think, yeah, you know, like the original Gran Turismo didn't have any shit like that. So actually, the more you play this game, the more it grows on you, I mean, definitely I reckon this car is probably the best one so far. It actually goes round corners. And for saying it's allegedly got no acceleration, I nearly got into first place then until I fucked that corner up. Not too shabby at all. So my top tip for Daytona CCE is forget the fucking stats. The stats for the cars seem completely backwards, so like 1 star means good and 5 stars means completely shit attribute for that attribute, which makes no sense, but yeah. I know what I mean, and that's all that counts. After all, if you've made it this far through this video, you probably have learning difficulties of some sort anyway, or severe autism, or Asperger's syndrome. I'm socially awkward because I burgle asses. Shit. Right, can we get third? We get first place. Can we get the best finish? Actually lapped somebody then. Yeah, like how is it? Bullshit. No. Oh, you. So there we go. That's Daytona CCE. Definitely a lot better than the original game, original Daytona. It's not perfect, but when you first start playing it, it's pretty unforgiving. It's actually quite obnoxious and annoying, but once you actually kind of figure out which car I guess kind of suits your handling style, the way you like to play your gameplay style, I guess it does sort of grow on you, and it's I was kind of having a little bit of a hoot towards the end of the video there. So that's Tuesday's kind of gameplay video done, I guess. Just trying to stick to the schedule, and I hope you liked it, and let me know what you'd like me to play on the next video.